Welcome to Faith, Reason, and Geekdom. I'm your genuflexer, Roger. My brothers and sisters in Christ, join me every week as we work out these three perspectives in our everyday lives. That's what I call Christian genuflexing. My father, Brandon Berg, is back. Thank you once again for rejoining me on this podcast. And also, too, the first time we did the podcast, I was so nervous. I'm getting a little bit better at setting it. I got like different wires. I got all torques. So you should see. Like if you, I'm like I was looking for my pen and all these bunch of like a bunch of snakes just all over the place. I got like a little light thing here plugged into my computer. I got this plugged in, two mics going at the same time. It's craziness. Like it's just buried underneath wires and wires. And last time, so I was very nervous. But I forgot to mention. I wanted you, maybe you obviously will speak to it more, but Father Brandon Berg has another podcast called The Brothers Hut. And I kind of wanted you to introduce it because we didn't get to talk about it last time because it's so just like everything I need to get in and get out and do everything perfect. So, yes, thank you again for joining us. Episode 3, it was an excellent episode. Really enjoyed that. So thank you for coming back. And, yes, if you want to tell us a little bit about the other podcasts that you do, co-host.
Yeah, well, welcome back to me. Yeah, good to be on your show again, Roger. You're the world's favorite Christian genuflexer.
I think the only. So that's not the only.
Exactly. Then you're automatically our favorite.
Exactly, yeah, by default.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm currently in Denver, Colorado, but yeah, I met you, Roger, when I lived in San Antonio, Texas. And my Capuchin Franciscan community, we have 2 houses in San Antonio. And I am the co-host of another podcast with Brother Vincent Mary Carrasco, and we call it The Brother Hut.
What's behind the name? Because I don't know why, but I mean, the only thing that's related to it is hut, but I think of pizza when I think, is there any, I'm probably way off, but is there any correlation? Like at all? Like I don't know why. I just
pizza?
think of is it
no,
the hut.
There's no correlation to pizza.
I don't know why. Just Brothers Hut Pizza Hut. I was like, well, maybe they're huge fans of Italian food and they like pizza. They like very mediocre fans of pizza. If you like mediocre pizza,
I do. That's my favorite kind.
Then Pizza Hut is the type for. So when do you guys do, is it a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly show, or how often do you guys record?
Well, first, Brother Vinny came up with the name, and he had something else in mind, and he wanted to do a podcast for a while, and he had some other name, I can't remember what, but he tried it, and it was just by himself, and he didn't really like the way it felt, so he wanted to get somebody else on the show with him. And like hut refers to like a small dwelling, like a shack, like a tent, like a lean-to, something where you can be with somebody else and kind of be safe and spend some time. So, and it's 2 brothers, like in the brother hut, like a place where we can share with each other. So that's kind of what the name is about. So yeah, we've been going for once every 2 weeks right now, just because Brother Vinny's in school there in San Antonio, and I'm staying pretty busy up here in Denver, so that's been our plan lately.
Yes, that's good. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put a link in the show notes when you have that.
Yeah,
and I just completely forgot. I was like, next time we get Father Brandon Berg on, we got to talk about the other podcast.
No worries.
Okay, so today's episode, we're going to touch on 3. We're going to work out all three of them today, Faith, Reason, and Geekdom. So from the faith side, I wanted to get into the consecration to Saint Joseph. We all know that it's the year the Pope Francis, on the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception, December 8th of 2020, declared a whole year of Saint Joseph until next December 8th until this December 2020. So it's the year of, and I'm currently doing the consecration to Saint Joseph. I believe I'm on day, was it 29 or 30? Because it's coming up real soon. So I think I'm on 30.
Yeah.
I just did the Terror of Demons, which is my favorite name for Saint Joseph, and I love it. I'm in love with this consecration and dedicating and reading every day, the dedication and reading every day, learning more about Saint Joseph, because I was not really that aware, and reading the history about Saint Joseph, I believe it was like 100, because one of the reasons why Pope Francis did that is because it was like 150 anniversary of Saint Joseph being the patron of the Universal Church. So that's another reason why he declared the year of Saint Joseph. And so the church is developing more like of an insight into Saint Joseph. But you see it sprinkled out even in way back in the Desert Fathers, and a bunch of other saints now talked about how we need Saint Joseph, and he's our like a fatherhood to look up to, and he was so self-sacrificing. I love the book, and you completed it, because I'm doing it on the Solemnity of Saint Joseph this month, and you did it because I know there was the main. You could do it on. I think there's like a guide to different ones, but which one did you? What feast day for Saint Joseph did you do it, and what was your experience since you completed it, and I'm still not done with it?
Sure. So yeah, just to make sure we're on the same page, you're using the Donald Calloway.
Yes. I'm sure a lot of Catholics seen on Twitter and Facebook. They know what the book looks like, because they've seen it with that little kind of like a yellow, the beautiful picture of Saint Joseph and the little child Jesus, which I love that picture. But I will got to say, the dimensions of it just looks like. Not what does it say? Like not to scale. It kind of looks, but I love it. Like it's a very famous image, but it's not really to scale. But I get it. I get what they're. It's a very beautiful picture. But yes, the same. I'm using the Calloway book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just checking because there are a couple different versions out there. But yeah, that's the one that's really sprung to popularity this year. So Consecration to Saint Joseph by Donald Calloway. I, too, absolutely fell in love with the book. It changed my life in certain ways. I felt like I grew closer to St. Joseph as a saint, as a man, as a father, as the patron of the church, as the terror of demons. You know, you could go through all his names on the litany. It was absolutely wonderful. And I think I did it. I mean, I don't think there's any bad way to do it, but I think it was good because I had actually done several consecrations to Mary first. So having that background and having that experience of growing closer to the Blessed Virgin Mary through different consecrations, and then experiencing that with Saint Joseph, I think that's been, for me, that was a good stepping stone. It's not a problem, but one of the ways I'm still developing it is learning how to keep my devotion to him going. So I haven't fully worked that out yet. Mainly what I'm doing is talking to him the same way I would talk to the Blessed Virgin Mary in my prayer time, and especially during the rosary. So
I love the Solemnity of Saint Joseph. I've never done it before. I never did the Solemnity of Saint Joseph, and now I like you're saying, that's the thing though, because you get really gun ho into it, and you're like, I'm going to do this. Just like when working out, you're like, I'm going to do 50 push-ups every day, right when I wake up, and 1,000 sit-ups, and you're in it for like 10 minutes or a day or a week, and then you're like, I don't want to, I don't feel like doing that. A month in, you're done. You're not working out. You're not doing that. You're not eating a strict ketogenic diet. You're not doing any of that. So yes, you're right about keeping it up. But I hope that I will keep up the Solemnity of Saint Joseph. And I just found out too that Wednesdays, from the books too, Wednesdays are kind of like a special day for Saint Joseph. So I was like, let me see if maybe every Wednesday I can do the litany every week, every Wednesday, and the Memorare to Saint Joseph, because I like the Memorare to the Virgin Mary, and I'm trying to get like perfect where I still can't say it like out of memory.
Yeah,
I could
I
just
haven't memorized it yet either.
Yes, I'm just a bad Catholic. but in essence, maybe a good Catholic, because if you're a bad Catholic, you're actually a good Catholic because Catholic guilt. So I might be a good Catholic if I say I'm a bad anyway. But the Our Father, the Hail Mary, the Glory Be, the Fatima prayer, and Saint Michael, Archangel, I could just memorize like nothing. It's easy. Sure. But then there are certain Hail Holy Queen I can't quite, and Memoire I kind of. I can say it, if we're doing a rosary in public, sure. You hear everybody doing the Our Father, the Hail Marys, everybody loud, the whole, like, for example, like, if you're in a funeral and you hear, or any other rosaries, you're hearing everybody. But then once it gets to the Fatima prayer, you hear like all the voices drop, and then like one person, so the two people are competing, right. Like who knows it better. But then once you get to the end, I'm like murmuring like every word, and then flee to the, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna quit. She won. The little lady, the 6-year-old lady, she won with the head covering. Yeah, she won. So it's just so I love the memoir, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
I forgot to answer your question too. I made my consecration, my first consecration to Joseph on the Feast of the Holy Family.
Yes.
Which I think this last year was December. It was either 27th or 28th. So,
yes, because again, there's no really right way, but they say like here, at least try to do these 2 days, and I think that was one of them, or maybe like the Saint Joseph, the Workman Feast, or the Holy Family, and then the one in this month. So yeah, that's the one that I'm doing. But yeah, hopefully,
nice.
I've learned so much, especially the Terror of Demons. That was when I first heard that name, I was like, man, that's such a metal name. Terror of I never heard. I was like, I think I've heard it maybe over a year ago. That's when I first heard it. I was like, what? The Terror of Demons? Like, I've heard of Saint Benedict, the devil chaser medallion, the necklace, and I was like, Terror of Demons. That's such a cool like metal name to give somebody. Right. So that's what kind of like piqued my interest, really. That like to the Saint Joseph, I was like, and then the book came out, and I heard it on the radio, and I was like, let me look into this. So, and then you had said you were doing it, and that's when I bought the book, but I couldn't do it because it was, I think I even asked you one time, I was like, can I catch up? And you're like, well, yeah, but you have to read all of this, because I have missed days. I miss I miss one day, but then the next day I just make it up and do a double. So, but luckily I forgot what day it was, but it was a day where when you do the first little page, and then it tells you to do like further reading, that certain day it was like a very long chapter, and I was like, oh man, it was like 4 or 5 pages. I was like, oh, to do double. So I was like, I can't be missing. Yeah. So yeah, the year of Saint Joseph. Yeah, that was again 150 anniversary on the Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception, since the Universal Church had Saint Joseph consecrated as the patron of the Universal Church. So it's this year is great. Yes. So a good year to get into doing the consecration and trying to build that into your prayer life, trying to build that into your spiritual life. Yes, amazing. Highly recommended. You done it. I'm almost there. So by the time this comes out, I will have done the consecration, the 33-day consecration to St. Joseph. So that's great. Oh, nice. So since we are in the Lenten season, there are a few misconceptions about Lent. Here's one common one. Yes. I don't know if you heard this one. I'll just throw a few, and if you have any too, this is one that years ago that I didn't know, that I thought only Catholics do Lent. Only Catholics will practice Lent. And that's not true. There are other denominations, non-Catholic denominations, that do that. Obviously I knew you were aware of that, but when were you aware of that? And is it kind of confusing? Because one time when I first started, I'm a revert. So I just got back into my faith several years ago, maybe about 4 years ago or so. And I didn't know, but Ash Wednesday I actually went to an Episcopal priest to do the ashes, because they're doing like a drive-through ashes, because I was like, man, I don't want to go in all the people in church. So I was like, oh man, let me just do drive-through. So I saw a priest. But again, that's when I was just getting back into faith. I didn't know. I couldn't tell you a Lutheran from a Calvinist. I couldn't tell you. I didn't know anything really. And I was like, oh, it's a priest guy with, he looks like a priest, and he's giving out ashes. He must be Catholic. So I went and I got the ashes but it was an Episcopal priest. So, what's your experience with that? And do you hear that from people? It's like, oh, don't only Catholics do that, or not so much?
What can I say about that? I don't have any personal experience with other denominations and their practices of Lent. I do. I think I was aware, like the mainline ones, yeah, like Anglicans, Lutherans, Methodists. I knew they had some sort of Lent. I don't know much about it, how it differs from a Catholic Lent or what the expectations are. I knew that that different rites, like the Byzantine rite, like they go hard, like no meat, no oil, no wine,
No cheese,
they basically go vegan for like the whole time, and they do all these prostrations during Mass. I mean, they only have Mass on Sunday too, so. But I had experienced that.
Yeah, that's true, because I was reading like some of the Eastern, because there's different rites of the Catholic Church, and in some of the Eastern rites, that they even any meat products, so no butter, anything that comes from no eggs. Like in the United States, the Catholics, we have ours are a little bit like lax. It's like, oh, we have very very like, even what was it? When it's not Lent season, the normal traditional fasting is like Fridays anyway. And like usually people do fast even when it's not Lent on Friday. But in the United States, the laws are like very lax. So most people don't, like, even when it's not Lent, like, oh, today's abstain from meat. If you hear that, that's like, whoa, that's like somebody like doing it like 100% going in, almost like you were saying, like the Byzantine rites, like certain rites. Yeah, because Fridays and Wednesdays are normal fasting days, even outside of Lent. Another misconception I hear is and I've heard people put this like in a meme. I see this a lot in a meme or something.
Okay.
People put on social media. They'll put, you can sin and you're drinking and doing all this stuff, or drinking or drugs or having premarital sex. But if you eat meat on Friday, that's a sin. And that you're going to hell because of that. Which again, I get what they're saying. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing drugs and drinking and yes, I get that. But they're trying to put it down like, oh, but on Fridays that's when you're I can't eat meat. But then you're doing all this stuff. Well, I get what they're saying, but I think that's a straw man. I see that as a straw man fallacy. To try to make the point, they're not doing it out of a goodwill. They're doing it to like attack the Lent, like, oh, it's a sin. You can't eat meat on Fridays, but you could do all this stuff. So, is it a sin to eat meat during the Lent season on Fridays if you're over? Because I know there's certain, like, if you're over 18, if you're within, over 18 and I believe 60. Well, let me put it this way: is it a mortal sin to eat meat on Fridays?
Wow, good question. Yeah. I think a lot of sin comes down to intention and knowledge. So, I mean, it's
consent of the will. Yeah.
It's important matter, but I don't think eating meat on Lent, in Lent on Fridays, is grave matter. So I think automatically, I don't think it could be a mortal sin. But let me say this: like, if someone is angry at the church and wants to sort of upset God or upset their parents or their grandparents on purpose, and like, so maybe this family goes out to eat on Friday, and instead of ordering the fish, you order the cheeseburger, and you sit there and eat it in front of everybody, knowing that it's a Friday of Lent. And if you do it on purpose,
like out of spite, like your family's eating, and out of spite, you're like, "Hey, family, guess what? I'm going carnivore today."
That's right.
But only on Fridays. I'm doing the carnivore diet, and just nothing but meat. Yeah, if you're doing
done
it
with the church, I want to upset you on purpose. Like, that could be,
and that could be almost like a breaking the commandment of honoring mother and father. If you're deliberately trying to dig it in, like in your parents' face or your family member, like, "Hey, I'm going to eat meat in front of you." Yeah, I could see how that could. Okay, also too is a no to the mortal sin under ordinary. Other than that, ordinary. Like, if you're just like eat meat, because again, even like when people say, "Oh, if I give up, let's say sodas on during Lent," and if they drink the soda, they'll think that's a sin. But the church, and I think in canon law, in the catechism, it's a self-imposed discipline that you take on, a self-imposed discipline. So, because there's that little, I don't know if you heard this, but have you ever heard because it gets a lot of people like, oh, on Sundays, it doesn't count. So on Sundays, like that's, again, you give up sodas. And on Sundays, that's anything goes, like Sunday fun day. It's like anything goes, you know, get yourself like one of those Route 45s, two of them, Diet Cokes, whatever, and just drink all the sodas. And they'll say, oh, Sundays, it's free. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. So back to your first question. So yeah, the Catholic Church, the whole church, at least the Latin Rite,
Yes,
we used to not
right.
we used to not eat meat on Fridays, like everybody, the whole thing. Okay, so that was changed into it's strongly, you know, it's
A pious,
the most strongly recommended without actually being a law for you to do penance on Friday. It's suggested that penance is not to eat meat. So if you do eat meat on Fridays, you're suggested, highly, strongly, forcefully suggested to do some other penance. It might be give up something else that you like. It might be pray an extra rosary. It might be read the Bible for 30 minutes. It might be give alms or something like that. But Lent is different. Lent, we are commanded by the church to not eat meat on the Fridays of Lent and Ash Wednesday.
Yes, Ash Wednesday, especially Good Friday. Right. Especially, those are the two, even, you know, yes, Fridays, but like Ash Wednesday and then Good Friday. That's, I mean, it's right. Good Friday. That's
Ash Wednesday and Good Friday are days of fasting, so eating less, and of abstinence, of not eating meat. And the other Fridays of Lent are days of abstinence, which means not eating meat. Now, you're encouraged to fast any other day that you can or want to in Lent. But those particular, the Fridays of Lent and Ash Wednesday, if you eat meat on purpose, knowing that you're not supposed to, that is starting to approach, some sinfulness.
Trying to go directly, yes. Because I think, was it fasting? I think one full meal and 2 snacks in the United States, I believe. Right, 1 full meal, two snacks that don't equal like another meal. So,
right.
So that's and it's between what is it? Because I know one is 18, or is it 16? I know it's something like that. There's like if it's suggested too, even if younger, it's suggested. But and then obviously for the elderly as well. You know, there's certain over 60 certain disciplines on them.
I think the actual, like, what the bishops publish, I think it's very close to that. I think it's 18 to 60 or 18 to 65 or something like that. Those ages where you're commanded to fast on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday and abstain from meat on also Ash Wednesday and all the Fridays of Lent. And then there's also there's always an exception for someone who's sick, a woman who's pregnant, you're in the hospital. You know, all of those things, they all go out the tail. Your health, you know, comes first, and then you, again, fast when you're strong enough. So.
Yes. What about the claim that I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Was that your next question? Was about Sundays again?
Yes. About Sundays.
I want to say 2 things. One is that every Sunday should be special. Like Sundays is the Lord's Day. It's the Sabbath day. It's the day of rest. It's the day of recreation. Sundays should be special. Every Sunday. Now, having said that, I think the Sundays of Lent are a little bit different. Like, if you go to church on Sunday of Lent, like, the priest is wearing purple. Purple is the church color for penance. Purple is the church color for fasting and repentance. So I think there should be some difference between the Sundays of Lent and the regular Sundays of the year. So if you do give up soda, it's laudable, it's encouraged, it's desired that you give it up for the whole Lent.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to make Sundays special, and if a soda helps you make that day special, and you go back on Monday, to me, I don't really see that big of deal in it. I think the more important thing is, you know, I hear a lot every year about, like, don't give up something like don't give up chocolate, like become a new creature. Because that's what Lent is about, is purifying us, and it's this outpouring of grace so that we can become a new creature in God, not just that we can not eat chocolate for 40 days and then go back to our regular life. So it's supposed to change us in all our ways.
Yes, playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Hershey's dark chocolate almond, giving up that does make me a different creature. Have you ever tasted that dark chocolate with almonds? Hershey's? That is the dark chocolate one. You should try a dark chocolate Hershey's bar.
Right.
That I am transformed when I give up that. No, but yes. So yes, because that's what I'm saying is I even heard because St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. But I've also heard that on St. Patrick's Day, you can take a break from your Lent abstaining and stuff like that, which is in a way not how do you say it? Not true, but not true, right? Because like I said, if you're like, hey, I'm gonna celebrate today, so hey, if I give up soda or chocolate, I'm gonna celebrate today. And again, it's like a self-imposed discipline that you should be consistent. Like obviously the church wants that you should be consistent in the whole Lent. But if you're for like, hey, you know what? I'm going to celebrate today and make it special, and I'm going to eat a little piece of chocolate and a soda, not out of malice or anything, out of just say, I'm going to celebrate, here's that, out of, take a break from my self-discipline, then that wouldn't be like a mortal sin or nothing like that, right? And it's not like an official thing like, oh, St. Patrick's Day, Sundays, it's like anything goes, but in a way, what you were saying is, if that day is going to make it special, try to commit the whole, Lent season. But if you do it, you won't be in danger of a, mortal hellfire, Dante's Inferno is going in there. For like, you didn't, why am I in the whatever level of hell? And it's like, well, because you didn't give up Hershey's dark chocolate, Hershey bars. That's with almonds. Very important. Because there is one with not almonds, and then there's some with almonds. And there's like I'm going, okay, we're trying to talk about like chocolate now. So
we're going to go geekdom on chocolate here. I
would
would say one thing about St. Patrick's Day. Culturally, it's a very big day, like parades and corned beef and green beer and all that stuff. But like liturgically, it's like like here in the United States, it's like an optional memorial.
Yes.
Like if you know about the church and the different rankings of her liturgies. The big days are actually the ones that are coming up is St. Joseph is a solemnity. Solemnity is the highest celebration that the church offers. No matter what day a solemnity falls on, you are allowed to eat meat. And then also the Annunciation is coming up next week, another solemnity. And those days should be special celebrations.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you're Irish or if you're Irish American, or if you want to be Irish, obviously that's a day that a lot of people are going to celebrate.
But then nobody gets canceled for that, which is weird. You see how like cancel culture is like not okay with certain cancellations. He'll cancel certain authors and books and certain cartoon characters. But then St. Patrick's Day, it's like, it's okay. So it's weird how the cancel culture kind of appropriating people. That's
I just
another.
Saw
crazy.
that on one social media. This woman that I know, she was making some comments, derogatory comments about the church, about that the CDF released that statement about not blessing homosexual unions.
Oh, breaking news, right?
Them.
Breaking. And I never said breaking news. I was like, this is like breaking news. The sun is hot. Water is wet. It's like, what?
Right.
Why is it breaking? That was crazy.
So she was saying some derogatory things about that, but then later on she was like celebrating St. Patrick and wearing green, and I was like, okay,
I know, it's so
you want to pick and choose there,
pick and choose. One more on the Lent. One more on the Lent.
Cool.
The claim that the last one is the claim that Lent is just the church just made it up, and there's no biblical reason at all, and it's just a holiday the church made up or season to make up to control people or to give people not to eat meat, or like make, I guess, the fish industry go up, or like
Sure.
I know you've probably heard some people saying that. What would Father Brandon Berg say to somebody like that had that misconception about the Lent season that we do as Catholics, and other, again, there are other Protestants that celebrate? What would you say to them?
Sure. Yeah, I think there's two separate ones there. I did read something, or I saw, maybe it was on YouTube, someone posted a comment about
YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah,
yes,
YouTube.
where all the geniuses gather. It said something about don't practice Lent. It's non-biblical and made up by the church. I'm like,
Pagan, right?
Okay.
It's pagan.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus went out into the desert. Israel walked through the desert. What deserts are hot and dry, and you don't have all the food you like? We're just imitating Jesus.
The 40 days in the desert, yeah.
Yeah,
Fasting.
there's so much, even throughout the Old Testament. I don't have any of the particular texts at my fingertips, but I think if you just do even a short dip into the waters of fasting and prayer throughout the Bible, that you will quickly realize that there's a lot of background. Like, okay, the timing of it and the actual number of the days, okay, you can dispute about that. When it's changed over the years, it's different, it's gotten less strict. All that is true, but to say that it's not biblical, I think, is absolutely false. And what was the other one?
It was, yes, the if it's not, it's not biblical, and it's something that the church just made up out of nowhere to control people, or give the fish industry
the one about the fishing industry. Actually,
they're in cahoots with Long John Silver's, the Catholic Church. Breaking news, everybody! Long John Silver's and the Church of Christ is the Catholic Church. Yes.
Yeah, even a guy at the parish where I work, he's like, there was a pope who had a nephew in the fishing industry, and that's where that came about. Okay, so
if it was a Borgia pope, probably.
Right.
Probably a Borgia.
So, but let me ask you this question: like, when Friday comes in Lent, does that cheeseburger sound better than ever? And does giving it up and not eating it tell me if it's easy or hard? So you can laugh at it, but let me see you try and do it. So
yes,
I don't know. That's mine.
Those are some common, things we hear about, Lent, during the Lent season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is, the Old Testament is all over, just peppered with fasting, abstaining, just asceticism.
Right.
It's
tearing
all,
your garments, doing penance, crying out to the Lord.
Everything.
Yeah.
In the New Testament too, as well. It's like, and Jesus went 40 days in the desert. And yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think the number doesn't have to be exactly, because Lent is not technically like 40 days. It's not like a set, like exactly 40 days, but that's besides the point. It's not
exactly 40 days, or it's not exactly 100% written in the Bible. Like, you're getting into the letter of the law, not to the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law is to convert your heart. Here's an intentional time to grow closer to God, an outpouring of grace. If you're going to complain about the letter, then
because you hear that, like, where is that exactly in the Bible? And it's like, well, there's a lot of things that are not exactly like the Trinity. It's in there, like, you'll find it, but like it's not explicitly laid out. There's a lot of things that are not like, well, where does it say this exactly in the Bible? That's sola scriptura, and that's not the point. He gave us a living church, with the magisteria and the Pope and the Bible too. But it don't have to be, because you hear that a lot. Where is it explicitly wrote out? Like, I want to see every single So that's the letter to the letter of T. You're doing that instead of actually like how did Jesus want the church to move on? How the New Testament wasn't composed when Jesus was preaching and with his apostles. That was later, and the church, and it's developed. It's a living. It's the body of Christ. It's a living. It has the power to bind and loose. It has the keys to the kingdom of heaven. It doesn't work strictly as literally written out in the Bible. Yeah, but that's true. So now geekdom.
Now, let's do it.
Now, it's Lent season, and I know a lot of people give up social media. They give up TV. A lot of them give up TV. A lot of them will give up streaming services, movies. So now we're just going to kind of like make it harder for them by talking about movies. So it's like, no. Yeah. But no, I wanted to see, because I wanted to tell you this last time you were on, but I wanted to see you got, what is it, HBO Max, you got Disney Plus, you got Netflix, you got Amazon, you got Discovery Plus. You got so many streaming services around. There's so much stuff, and I have cut down a lot on TV. During the week, I average 1 hour a day. Just that's it, usually 1 hour during Monday through Friday, or Monday through Friday morning, I guess. So I've cut down. I used to watch a lot, but I cut down a lot. But I still love TVs and movies. So I wanted to talk about this, and I know you don't watch a lot, but I just wanted to get your insight on, or take on, if Father Brandon Berg, pretend you're on a desert island, right, somewhere. You're stranded on a desert island.
Okay, desert island.
But somehow this desert island has HD and Wi-Fi, and it's built up to a big flat screen TV, and you have it entertained in the sound bar. Somehow on this desert island, you have all that. What would you choose? Any streaming? Like, I didn't mention all of them. There's like 1,000. Sure. You know, I think it's just so many to count. But what would you be? What would you pick? I guess I'll go first to kind of give you some time to think about it. But if I was on a desert island, right? Maybe I went in the desert for Lent. You know, during Lent season, maybe I stranded myself. Now that's doing some penance and doing some fasting and abstaining. So let's say I'm a desert island. Netflix is a big one. Love Netflix. Yeah. Amazon Prime. I'm a big fan, but actually, now that I think about it, I do think it's one of the lower ones. HBO Max is fairly new. Disney Plus, I think the big hitters, the big three, and I don't want to offend anyone else who thinks, hey, you didn't, All Access or Peacock or all this stuff's the better. But to me, just my opinion, it's Netflix, HBO Max, and a Disney Plus. Those are the big three. Sure. And if I had to choose, I would probably choose HBO Max. And the reason why, now, I don't want to recommend this. It's not for everybody, because there is good family fun in there, but it's HBO, and not everything in there is, I would suggest to watch. Use prudence. Use prudence when choosing. But said. I would choose HBO Max. Find some good stuff in there, because again, there's a lot of trash. Then that's with all the streaming service. So you're gonna, no matter where you go, you're gonna just use prudence. Be an adult. You know, if you struggle with certain things, you shouldn't watch certain TV shows, certain movies. But I'm, again, on this metaphysical desert island that has Wi-Fi and cable and 4K, big all that stuff. If I'm on a desert island, I'm choosing HBO Max.
HBO Max. All right.
Also, because of their new movies that come in the theaters, now they're in the Mortal Kombat movies coming up, the Justice League Snyder Cup's coming up, Tom and Jerry just came out, Kong versus Godzilla is coming out. Ooh. That's going to be pretty cool. And then they have a lot of shows on there. I think there was, I think they have no, wait. That's Amazon Prime's doing the Lord of the Rings show. That's awesome. Ooh. They're doing the Lord of the Rings show, but they're doing another big show. I can't remember what it is, but they're doing a Batman series. They're doing a Green Lantern series. They're doing a lot of stuff on HBO Max. The Little Things with Denzel Washington came out, I think, a month or two ago. So many shows are coming out. That's why I would pick HBO Max. I think, and they have older movies too. The Exorcist is on there. A bunch of other movies. So there's some horror movies. There's some sci-fi. They have the Turner Classics movie. They have a DC section. They have so many different stuff. A lot of the DC animated cartoon movies that are, but they're I say cartoons, but they're PG-13, so they're a more adult theme animation. Gotcha. So that's why I would pick that. If Father Brandon Berg, if you're on the desert island. What's any streaming media, anything? What would you be stuck with?
I got you. Yeah. So the first thing I would want to say is, I'll just give the answer. So, some of the brothers sometimes have access to those things, so we do watch things occasionally on Amazon Prime, and then we did access one of the brothers. His sister gave him access to Disney Plus so that we could watch The Mandalorian.
Oh, awesome show. Yes. I love that
Yeah,
show.
which like I would probably choose Disney Plus just for that because I don't know, it was great. Like I loved it. It was the best show I had seen in a long time. But for me, the one I have actually the most experience with is formed.org, and FORMED.org. And I think if you don't belong to a parish that has a subscription, I think they do charge some kind of monthly rate. But they have this amazing list of parishes, and if your parish doesn't have a subscription to it, or if you aren't Catholic or don't have a parish, you can just look it up and be a part of it. And they have, in my opinion, it's like the Catholic Netflix. I mean, you can just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll until your finger gets tired. And you're like, what is all this stuff? But they have books on audio. They have a whole list of movies about different saints. They have talks on audio. They have kids stuff. They have cartoons. They have catechesis. They have scripture study. They have apologetics. They have interviews with people. It's really like fascinating. And the most recent movie that I've watched is about Saint Pedro Poveda, who I had never heard of before.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
Yep. He lived in Spain from about 1900 to 1936. Like those were his active years of priesthood. And he did a bunch of cool stuff. He served the poor. He started colleges for teaching women to be teachers. Then he was eventually martyred in the Spanish Civil War. So fascinating story and really well done. The movie, these Catholic movies are getting better and better every time I see one. So I'm going to be that boring guy alone on the islands, and I'm gonna go with form.org. I'm gonna go with the Catholic. I'm gonna go with the Catholic streaming service.
But that sounds like an interesting movie. And so maybe they could get what was his name? Pedro.
Poveda. Poveda.
Maybe they when they get more streaming subscriptions, get more of that kind of like closer to that Netflix money. Maybe they get a Pedro Pascal to play the Spanish saint from Mandalorian, the Pedro Pascal. Maybe he could play him. Both named Pedro. I don't know. Maybe when they get that Disney money, let's see if we get enough. So we're gonna need probably about like maybe 20 million people to subscribe to get to that Disney money, that Disney armored truck, back up the armored truck, all that money to pay these high profile actors. Oh yeah. So formed .org and is that. Is it on Roku or do you just get on it through the computer or do you have like a smart TV? Yeah, for like if you have a smart TV, can you access it through there or do you have to access it through the computer only?
That's a very good question. I think if you know what you're doing, I think you could access it through a smart TV. I have a Roku. I never tried to use it. I don't actually know what it means or what it does or how to use it.
Nobody knows what it means.
But
it's
I'm
like the cloud.
Sure most people out there do. So I when we watch it, we just hook up a laptop to the flat screen.
That's what I do
with the HDMI cord.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Yep. Yeah. Well, that works. Yeah, same thing. Roku. You don't need Roku. You just need the HDMI cord. Plug it in.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So Father Brandon Berg, once again, thank you for joining me in Faith, Reason, and Geekdom. We worked it out talking about a consecration of St. Joseph and the year of St. Joseph. We worked it out when it's talking about misconceptions about Lent. We worked it out about what streaming services that we would be on this desert island that I put myself for Lent, and you, if you're saying you're going to be the most, maybe somebody put you there, I don't know, because they didn't like your choices. I don't know. They're like, we want to watch Disney, we want Disney subscription, we want Netflix. Father Brandon wants Forum. Let's put him on a desert island. We're both there. So
get away from us. Right.
So thank you for working this out, and I hope your muscles are nice and sore. Your spiritual and intellectual muscles are worked out. Once again, we'll have you on very soon, talk about many other things. Father Bragg, as always, pray for me. I'll be praying for you. If you want to sign us off with a glory be, and we can go ahead and end the show.
All right. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
Amen.
Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Once
Thank you,
again,
listeners.
thank you.
Keep genuflexing.
Yes, every Wednesday. Guys, come
See you
around.
next
Don't
time.
forget to check out the Brothers Hut. Not to be
Yep.
confused with Pizza Hut at all.
Nope.
Brothers
Nope.
Hut.
Not
the
related.
co-host, Brandon Berg. Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.